All right, everybody, I am super excited.
Episode 2, we are here with... All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody, to the YoungPro podcast.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the YoungPro podcast, where we interview financial and philosophical guests in a pursuit to answer our questions about the world around us. Both Dustin and I are fascinated by the unique ways people make money and their journey towards financial freedom. Dustin, who's our guest today, bro?
Yeah, we are excited to have Markee Thompson here, 27 years old. He is a content creator, and he owns his own real estate marketing company called Vision Video Media. And we are jacked to get in his story a little bit today. So glad to have you, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Great first introduction.
Dude, we always get excited about the little things, Markee, right?
That's fair.
So before we get into the background of his story, how do you guys know each other?
Actually, I was driving down here today, and I was like, how do we actually meet? And it was, Markee was a referral from the guy that used to do my listing photos for my real estate. Mm-hmm. And this guy was doing my listing photos. He stopped, he was kind of shifting gears and kind of pursuing something else. And so I'm like, dude, what the heck? He's like, hey, I got a guy. He goes, I've been watching this guy. He knows what he's doing. He's on it. I'm like, okay, so that's how. So my listing photographer referred Markee.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so how many times has he taken pictures for one of your listings?
Dude, try to keep him as busy as we can, right?
Yeah, ever since that call, it's weird because he called me and I was working my full-time gig at that time.
Okay.
And I ran to the bathroom to take the call. And he was like, yeah, this person referred me to you. I was like, I have no idea who that person is. And to this day, I still don't.
Yep.
I don't think I ever met him, or I can't remember his name. So
he must have came across your Instagram.
Yeah, he must have came across my Instagram. I had a website at that time, but it was poorly done. So he could have came across the website. The SEO probably wasn't great, so I highly doubt it was. It was a website, but it had to be social media of some sort. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And how long have you been doing? So you see, you're like a real estate videographer, photographer, or are you just a videographer?
No, I kind of consider myself and Vivid Vision as just an all-around real estate marketing company. So we do listing photos, listing videos. So anything that has to do with a camera or even graphic design, flyers. So
you handle that.
Yeah, pretty much everything that involves around marketing and real estate.
That's awesome. And how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing it now for almost 4 years.
And when did you go full time?
I went full time into it last year. So
congratulations.
So April, it would have been April last year, pretty much.
Dude, give us your job quitting story.
Yeah. So
hopefully it's viral and it's not.
I wish it was viral. So I was working as a pharmacy technician and also working for a church.
Okay.
So I pretty much went in, and they kind of both knew I was on the way out, because I'll just bounce to go do a shoot when I need to do a shoot.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person, I can't work a 9 to 5. I can't sit still. Yeah. Pretty much. So they already kind of knew hey, Markee already has this business thing. Once that time hits that he think he's gonna go, he's not gonna hesitate to leave or walk out. But yeah, it was simple. They kind of already knew I was on my way out, and it got to a point I was like, I don't have time to be doing this and that. So I had to choose. So I made that decision, and here we are today. So
congratulations.
Yeah, stepping out, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Do you have any team members now?
Yeah. So I have a guy, his name is Nick. He's a good friend of mine. We actually have, Vivid Vision was my main business, but then I met Nick 2 years ago, and he was a wedding videographer, and you know Nick.
Yep.
And so we decided to start a wedding videography business. He helps out with real estate, Vivid Vision stuff too, and And
Really?
we're just kind of this big partnership now. So,
Dude, I'd love to see some of the wedding videos you've done. I've actually done a few for my friends. So I did digital broadcasting in college before I dropped out.
Okay.
And got into real estate. So like familiar from Final Cut.
Yep.
You know, I got the Canon 90D is mine. So it's nothing like crazy, but
Yeah.
for my friend, like I think I've done 6 wedding videos. 5 of them I was in the wedding.
Oh,
I'm also
wow.
shooting it. So
That's
it's like
crazy.
they're that close to my homies that they couldn't afford $2-3 grand for. And I was like, you know what? Well, one, I'm broke, so I don't have money to pay for a gift. So I might as well just shoot you a wedding video, and you can have it for forever.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't imagine shooting a wedding, been in a wedding and shooting a wedding.
Yeah, normally when I'm that close, I'll have like another friend that I know that's not in it, and they'll be willing to help or run a GoPro, because GoPro video, that shot, or I really like it when it like randomly will pop up in a wedding video, go from like professional shots to like an in-person GoPro or whatever. Yeah, it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. And yeah, shout out Nick, because it's so much work that go into running a real estate company. You're always on the go, on a call. So like, he's been a huge help since this whole partnership come about at the beginning of this year. So
just awesome. Recently we're selling those storage units, those condo storage units.
Oh, he helped you out with that?
So he did some of the photos, and then we were kind of talking about getting a nice huge 4x8 sign. And so I just called Markee and said, "Hey, do you do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, actually, yeah, we do." And Nick was kind of his.
Yeah, Nick was a lead on that. Nick has an extensive background in graphic design and signage. So it's just having him on the team, and it just makes a lot of things easier. And we can offer a lot more things when it comes to real estate marketing, because signage is huge. Yeah. Print stuff is huge, which I have a little knowledge, but he has 10 years of knowledge. Yeah. So it definitely helps out a lot.
So are you guys looking, Vision, Vivid Vision Media?
Yep.
Are you guys going to form another company, or are you guys kind of operating?
So we actually have so we have an S Corp, which is DOTSA, which is more of the production stuff, so like commercials, more of corporate things. And then we have Elevate Wedding Films off of that, which is the film company. Yep. So everything's an LLC, but DOTSA is the S Corp. It's the umbrella and everything. And then we have Vivid Vision. So it all kind of ties in.
Do both of you own all 3 of those?
So we both own DOTSA, which is the umbrella company. And then it just branches off. Okay. So yep. So it works out perfect, because it's hard. It's not, I wouldn't say it's hard. It's better to have a partner in things like this, because you can bounce ideas off each other. But also, when instead of hiring on or getting a contractor, you can have someone that's kind of more invested
in-house.
In-house. And it kind of helps keep your vision of what you want the company to be. And it kind of keep because sometimes you hire subcontractors.
It doesn't go the way you want.
Yeah, you don't know if they're going to take care of be as personable as me. So like, I might go shoot a house with Dustin, I don't mind moving stuff. I don't mind if we're there for an hour. We gotta open up all the blinds, turn on the lights. We gotta wipe the mirror to make sure the mirror clean. That's fine. But if I hire a subcontractor,
it may not be.
He might be like, "No, I'm taking these pictures. I'm in and out." So that was one thing. Like, me and him sat down. We was like, "Hey, we want to keep the quality in everything we do. So in order to keep that quality, this is the best route for us." You got to do it yourself.
Yep. That's
so.
You ever read the book Vivid Vision?
No.
Did you know that was a book
title? I didn't even know that was a book title.
It's amazing.
That's crazy.
It's really it's a small book.
Okay.
It's not big at all. It's less than 100 pages. Have you read it?
I have.
It's phenomenal.
I have to check it out, because I'm an avid reader. So
really,
I love reading. Yeah.
Well, we normally wait till this part till the end, but like, what books are you reading right now?
So right now we're reading the Elimination Ruthlessness of Harry.
Right now we're reading. You and your business partner are reading it.
No.
Oh, I was like, to be like, that is the coolest shit.
No. He's actually.
I was really about to be like, yo.
We're both. So I'm in a book club with a couple other people. So we're reading that book, The Elimination of Ruthlessness of Harry, and it's a great book, because as an entrepreneur, Like nothing ever slows down. You're always just running. So it's been a good book. It's my second time reading it. But my business partner, Nick, he's reading Profit First, which I read Profit First about 2 years ago. So, I mean, we're both avid readers trying to
Have you read that?
No, I haven't read Profit First.
It's a really good
Great
book.
book.
It's a really, really good book. So hopefully that'll be a help for him and me. But yeah, I love reading.
That's amazing.
I always got a book in the library.
So where do you see your? I mean, obviously you've been doing it for a couple of years with your businesses. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I mean, what's the vision? Clearly, the vision of what you're kind of trying to do, what you want to do.
Yeah. So in 5 years, I want to have a team that's well equipped in each of those businesses. So I never had the dream of having like this huge team, especially with vivid vision, because then you lose the quality of work, you lose the personability in it. So my goal is to have a small team that can help go shoot things, help edit, and continue to bring good value to clients and customers and grow the clientele. So I think that's why I like to see everything in 5 years. I'm still pretty young.
Do you have a shooter?
Yeah, so I subcontract a couple different shooters to go out and shoot for me.
When you have a subcontractor shooter, do they have their own camera?
Yep, so they have their own camera, they have their own drone, and yeah, we just pay them. They don't have to edit anything. They just
cut you the raw footage.
Yep, they just
And you're editing and not
And knowing what the footage looks like.
Yep.
That's got to be difficult.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever edited something I didn't shoot.
It's
maybe
tough.
a couple, but it is significant. Not at a long form. How long are your wedding videos?
So we have it just depends. We got 3 packages. I think the first package is 5 to 7, then it goes 7 to 9, and then 9 to 11.
And then what are the price points for those?
So price points $27.95, $31.95, and it goes $35.95. I think I got those right.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, you can always just go to our website. But yeah, that's and our different packages.
And it's right there.
Yeah, it's right here.
Point right there.
ElevateWeddingFilms.com.
Boom, there it is.
So yeah, for the weddings, it's you always get 2 shooters. So that's the nice thing. Every package comes with aerial shots, so we always shoot the drone. The only really main difference is time frame, and
how long the video is and how long the shooter stay.
How long the video is, and then if you get like a 1 minute teaser and stuff like that. And we have
1 minute teaser.
Yeah, so that's like a mini trailer of your
actual video.
That
Is it the same shots in both?
No. Some shots will be similar. Some shots will be different. It's just like a little. Hey, toss us on Instagram.
Bro, let's see what y'all got. Let's see one of your videos you made. You said you had a house tour for $1 million property.
So
and then do you got like a teaser for one of these wedding ones we could see too?
I don't think I have a teaser on my phone for a wedding one, but I definitely do have a house one.
Perfect.
So let me see here. All right, here we go. So this house is actually still on the market. So if this comes out, if somebody's looking for a $1.5 million house.
Yeah, just set it up there.
So this is just a quick reel.
If you want to go check out the house, give me a call.
Yeah.
Right.
Bruh, that's fire.
And
Is that the homeowner?
No, that's not the homeowner.
That's the agent?
Carly Pearson. She's one of the agents on the Phillips real estate group.
So is it the agents that pay you to come and make?
So yeah, so it's the agents that come and pay me to do their house shoots. So photo, video, or whatever.
So you just plan to take that out of your commission?
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
it's just a cut of that.
Yeah.
That was really good, bro.
Thank you.
That's here in Iowa?
Thank you. Yeah. That home is actually a homes by the Phillips home. So
that's a new. I kind of want to watch it again. Is that that was a new build?
Yep, a new build.
Dude, that's good.
Yeah,
bro.
and
so how much did she pay you for that?
And everyone, So it was a package. It was a package deal.
So multiple videos.
Multiple videos. We did listing photos. We did like it ended up being like 2-minute long house walkthrough video.
Okay.
And we did like 4 or 5 different reels.
4 or 5 different reels.
So yeah, because
and
listing photos.
for how much?
So you're looking at around $550.
Bruh, that's a deal.
Yeah, I know. It's
At
it
that quality, that's
yeah.
amazing. What are you shooting on?
So I'm shooting on a Canon R5 on that.
A Canon R5.
Yep, a Canon
so
R5.
Is that mostly videography?
Yeah, so it's 48 megapixels, so it's good with photos. So if you want to blow up a photo that it takes,
Yeah.
it's gonna look crisp.
Yep.
It shoots 8K 30.
What do you
4K.
even need that much?
Yeah, I never shoot the 8K 30. I normally just shoot at 4K. I shoot everything at 4K.
I can imagine how big files would be.
Yeah.
You can't even upload on YouTube in 4K unless you're a creator.
Yeah, so I actually, yeah, that is right. You can't. I think you can try to upload it in 4K, but they'll compress it and make it 1080.
Okay.
So I'm not the one that uploads like our podcast to YouTube. I know we film at 4K, but I don't know if it ever gets uploaded. I think YouTube compresses it, but I could be wrong.
But when your clients get their wedding videos, that's in 4K on a hard drive or whatever.
Yep. So we send them like a link. If they want a hard drive, we can send them a hard drive, but we normally send them like a Dropbox link or a Google
and then
link.
the wedding video has to stay in there for forever so they can access it.
They can access it
10
forever.
years?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And if they want a hard drive, we'll definitely give them a hard drive.
Mhm.
But most of the time, it'll probably be Dropbox or Google Drive.
Well, what's a tip or trick you can tell like a newer creator, someone who's maybe intimidated by creating or intimidated by getting judged by everybody?
Yeah.
When you open yourself up for that?
Yeah, definitely. Always remember art and being a creative is subjective. So as long as you love your art, that's all that really matters. Until you start to get into like bringing clients in, always never wait. I hear a lot of creatives say, I'll wait until I have the equipment. I'll wait until I have the perfect space. Never wait. Just figure it out.
That's harder.
Yes, dude.
That's harder to look.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
It's tough because like me doing creative stuff, like I used to have a mindset of like, hey, I can't go shoot a short film or I can't go do something creative unless I got the best camera. It's like, no, start somewhere and then just work your way up until you can afford that camera. Don't sit around.
Here's my take though. I think, technology has changed that, right? In terms of just how easy it is. Like you talk about Final Cut, Final Cut Pro. I mean, trying to take that program versus, these programs that they have now, it's so much simpler.
It's so much simpler.
So much simpler. So you had to be like me growing up. You had to dedicate so much time.
Yeah, that's true.
And knowledge to it. So when you got to that point, you had the product. You want to make sure that product was perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
It was awesome. It was the best product you could put out.
Yeah.
But here what do you think about it? I mean, I feel like it's just changed because of that mindset of just technology's helped that.
Yeah, I think technology has helped out a lot. I also think that mindset has shifted with social media, short form content. I think a lot of people preach, just film it and put it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like the world needs to see it. And that's all good and dandy for, social media influencers. But when it comes to like filmmaking and actually having clients and getting paid for something, I think it does, like you said, it does need to be some type of perfection to that. But yeah, I just think with technology nowadays, it's definitely made it a lot easier because you guys didn't have linear editing softwares back then or nothing like that. So I think like having Premiere, Final Cut Pro has made editing a lot easier. Now people can put reels together on their phone and CapCut. So,
CapCut is insane.
Yeah, CapCut is insane. And I mean, I've used some of these softwares like CapCut to like edit a quick reel to put out, or like I'll edit some actually in Instagram, like a video in Instagram.
Yeah, I've done it too. Yeah,
because I mean they turn out good. Now, would I do that? You know, if I had a client paying me $10,000 for me to shoot content, no, I would just spend the extra time, film it right, edit. I'll be more detailed on color grading, transitions, frame rate stuff. But I think, yeah.
I mean, just that reel you put together for Carly. I mean, that's
beautiful.
high. Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I mean, like stuff like that, yes, it takes time. It takes time, but not as much time as like a 15-second commercial for somebody. So
because it takes more editing.
It takes more editing. Like I think a lot of people don't understand. They'll see like a reel like that and be like, oh, like that looks really nice. But when I tell them like, oh yeah, it only took me like, maybe 30 minutes, if that, to kind of like put that together.
Yeah.
That's not counting shooting or anything, but just like put that together. They're like, oh, okay, that's not that much time. But like you might see a 15-minute commercial on TV and
15 minutes or 15
seconds. Thanks for credit. 15-second commercial on TV, and people don't understand like, yeah, that might have been 2 days of shooting and a full 120 hours of editing that 15 seconds because the clientele is different. Like
who their audience,
their audience is like Fairway might be paying $60,000 for that 15-second commercial, where that like an agent is paying $500 for multiple videos. So it's a different clientele, but it just depends on what kind of videos you're editing and how much time you want to put into it. But I think it's very important to always remember art is subjective. So when you're first starting off, if you're enjoying your art and you're enjoying what you're creating,
that's a great point.
That's all that matters. But once you start bringing clientele in, that's when
people are
paying you. Yeah, they're paying you for a product. Obviously, they're coming to you because they know you're good at what you do, but they're paying you for a product. So you got to make sure that product is top tier.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So when you break down like, social media, I mean, what are the top to be effective with your business using social media? What are like the top 3 things that as a business owner you can do that you should be doing on a consistent basis and bringing social media into that? Like what is the
as a
top
blank, not necessarily for real estate, like any entrepreneur.
Business
they have.
The first one would be consistency.
Yep. I was gonna say it, but I was hoping
you got to stay consistent when you're doing these. When it comes to social media, you can't sit dormant or you'll miss the wave. So definitely staying consistent. Number 2 is don't underestimate video. I think a lot of people are scared of video. They get nervous with video, but you have to use video to your advantage because that's just the way it's leaning towards right now. I'm pretty sure in a couple more years it'll be something else. It might be back to pictures. I don't know.
Might be what?
Back to posting pictures, and that's enough. But right now is
heavy
video. Heavy video. That's what the algorithm is gonna push. And then the last one is interaction. Interact with your audience. If someone comments on your post, respond, like it, start a conversation if you want to. And then also, if you see something on social media that you like and support, engage with that. So those would be my top 3 things on kind of growing and developing your social media presence.
So consistency,
video,
and interaction,
engagement. Yep.
I heard once that when you put out content, you're supposed to not communicate at them, but communicate with them.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really good, because a lot of people, we're pushing out this information, but what you really want to do is put that information out there, wanting them to communicate back with you and interact with you. So it kind of evolves from there. So I thought that was really good.
100%.
Which, I see both ways that people do it, and I'm like, man, how do we do better with that type of mindset? Because a lot of times, you just want to push out information like do this or do that, or this is how, especially with real estate.
Yeah,
you have to post things about yourself, and I sold this, I sold that, but it's like people don't care.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, I mean, it's good to show that you have success, but it seems like when we post something that really interacts with our audience,
it does really well.
Does really super well, yeah.
That makes sense, yeah.
What's been your biggest struggle is being like a sole entrepreneur or a partnership with the entrepreneur business?
That's a good question.
Is that mindset? Is that like productivity, scheduling?
I think for me, my biggest struggle has been I'm a yes guy.
Me too.
So I'm like, yes, yep, we can get it done. Yep, we'll figure out a way. Yep. And sometimes that can be tough, especially because you only have 24 hours in a day and you're sleeping 6 to 8 of that. So you have very limited time in the day. And if you say yes to everything, then you're not going to, it gets stressful. So I think that's my business, which I've been working on. And also that's why it's so important to have a team. Because you can say yes a little bit more. Then you can delegate. So that'd be my biggest struggle is yes all the time.
And how are you bettering that situation?
Right now the way I'm bettering is
saying no.
Yeah, I'm kind of evaluating and assessing the situation and seeing like, all right, how important is this to that client or to me at this point? And sometimes it's like, all right, yes, but these are the boundaries, or it's not just a straight yes. It's more like, yes, I can have it done in a week instead of I can have it done in 3 days. So
just setting that expectation. And I think, I mean, in business in general, if you set the expectation, most of the time the client's cool with it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's typically when you don't, and then they're like,
hey,
where's my stuff?
As long as you communicate, and that's what I've learned, because like I didn't have a blueprint to go off of when starting a business. I kind of just jumped into it. So a lot of this stuff is just learning as I go. Yeah. But communication has been the biggest thing for me. So
you ever read the book Crucial Conversations?
No.
Bro, that book changed my life.
Crucial Conversations. I have to add
about how to
list.
have like difficult conversation when your anxiety's high and your heartbeat is like pumping and you have adrenaline going through you, and you know it's gonna, whether it's trying to get a raise, whether a breakup or what they just list. It's not just necessarily business, but it is also business related too. If you're an employee or employer and your employee is a friend, or a relative, and the way to go about that and understanding what's going on in your body during the conversation that's about to happen or is currently happening, so you don't have to feel like crazy or like that you're want to outlash people for no reason, like, oh, this is why my body feels that way, which then in turn allows you to like respond better or handle that situation when you're going through it, because like the way you feel, you understand why you feel that way.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll check that out.
Have you ever thought about getting into real estate, like investing and stuff? You're spending all time with all these people. You gotta.
So that's on my list. Like, I really want to get some properties. I want most of my wealth in my life to come from real estate.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. One of my best friends, he's a real estate agent, and I talk to him all the time about, dude, I just need to get into some property. I need to pull the trigger. Yeah. That's what he said. He's like,
why haven't you pulled it?
Trigger? I don't know.
Why don't you take your own advice?
I know. I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those things. I mean, I do own a house, but I don't.
Your primary?
Yeah.
Single family?
Yep. So I don't own any. I don't own any
assets.
I guess that's my only asset. But I don't own anybody. I don't have anybody paying.
That's why.
That's what I want.
Most people's primary isn't an asset, because the definition of an asset is something that puts money in your pocket, not takes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
even like my primary, I still rent a room out.
Yeah.
Doesn't cover the whole mortgage, so therefore it's not an asset.
It's not an asset yet.
And your car can't be in it. A
Yeah.
lot of people are like, "Oh, my car." That's not an asset.
That's not-
unless you're an Uber driver.
Yeah, unless you're Uber
or
driver
DoorDash
or you're
Turo.
Turo,
Yeah,
Turo,
your
which
car
is
an
a
asset.
great business strategy too. But yeah, no, I don't. That's on my thing for this year. I at least want to get one property this year.
Is that a single family? Is that a duplex?
I would love to either get a duplex or
A fourplex?
a fourplex or
Yep.
something like that. Definitely.
You gonna put 20% down?
Yeah. That's
Oof.
that's the only. I talked to my loan officer, so it's either 20% down or
Move in it and
Move
rent out your
in.
single family.
Yeah, that's what I
out.
do right there.
But I don't know.
That's what I do, bro.
I don't know if my wife is down with that.
You gotta
Do that.
we talked about this before. It's that's the best. It's called house hacking. It's
Yeah,
the best.
house hacking.
Best-
It is
best,
the.
yeah.
I've done it for 7 years. I'm still doing it. That's
Yeah,
how
why-
I've got. So I think when we first met, how many units did I have? 4 or 5? 4 or
Probably,
5?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm at 86, 87 now.
Wow.
And we met like 3 or 4 years ago, but that was the single, because you're not only, a lot of people forget, like you're not just lowering your expenses, it's also simultaneously
Yeah.
increasing your disposable income.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because your expenses just went down. So if you lose a mortgage, or you don't have to pay a mortgage of $1,000, your income for the year just increased by $12K. Like what
Yes.
job can you go to and just walk in and be
Yeah.
like, "Yo, I want a $12K raise now"?
You can't.
You can't.
And I don't know if I can ask. I don't know if I can ask this on the podcast. 'Cause I'm very interested. You can cut this out.
No,
if
let's
you
hear
guys
it.
need
Let's do it.
Well, I
But-
guess we'll see.
to. Yeah. We'll see. You have 86 units.
Mhm.
How much are you cash flowing?
So it changes. It's not all me.
Okay.
My partners are a big partner.
Okay.
We own businesses.
Yeah.
We own
Okay.
units together. My total or like the portfolio's total?
Both, I guess. Because I guess this would be good for like me to know, like, hey, if I did go into with partnerships and I had 86 units potentially.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
here's the kicker is a lot of people, when you look at when we purchased these properties,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it was a year, 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
The mindset's changed now a little bit because
Right.
of the interest rates going up, and so you know, getting into, you know, we always kind of look at like how much money per door,
Right.
you know, and there's an argument about it, like people are saying $500 a door, you know, 700,
Yeah.
and people are like, there's no way you can do $500 a door,
Yeah.
in today's
Right.
know market, which is
True.
true. That would be very difficult. But I think a 200 to 250 is a good
Per
range
door.
per door. So if you
Yeah.
have like a duplex, if you cash flow $500, $500 to $600, I think that's good.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's all dependent upon the deal too, or how much you invested. So like some
Okay.
people like to
Or-
look at that metric,
Or
cash on cash. That's my metric.
here's the other thing of it though, because I own a duplex and I own a fourplex.
Okay.
Okay, ironically, and a fiveplex and a sixplex. But the duplex, I will tell you, it's interesting because my business partner, Kurt, and I were talking about this the other day. It's like that duplex, those tenants pay for lawn care, snow removal. They do all of it, right? They do all the utilities. They have nothing.
So the overhead's not crazy.
There's nothing. All I do is I get paid per month, and there's my cash flow. My fourplex, I got lawn care, stinking. We live in Iowa, so we got snow removal, which we haven't had too much snow. You know, then there's usually some miscellaneous, just mid-American energy bills, you know, for the house, for example. But then you have a lot of these fourplex or fiveplex, they're metered on 1 meter for the water. So now you have to pay for the water. So you have all these other expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So when you really break it down, from my portfolio, what I've seen is duplex or fourplex, that $200 to $300, you know, is kind of in line, but you don't have all the headache.
Right.
That duplex takes care of all the headaches. Those tenants take care of all that.
That's smart. That's a good thing.
And
to
it's
know.
so sometimes you get into this, you know, mindset of like you get all, you know, more units, unless you're scaling, you got a lot of units. But from my perspective, from a duplex to like a 4, for the amount of extra more doors, more washer, you know, more refrigerators, more, you know, ACs and furnaces, all that stuff, all those, you know, those more expenses that could come out of those properties. I don't know. I'm starting to believe a duplex because it's in just like a single family, because single family is not
It's
as
so-
good because it's
But then again, how many duplexes do you have to be able to afford a property manager at 8%? So you're not taking those calls. That's the wrong issue with duplexes, though, because they're not.
True.
There's not enough in one spot unless you're buying a block of duplexes,
right.
to be able to afford a.
You guys self-manage. I mean,
and it's 10% when you're only at two units. They're definitely charging you 10% of gross. That's not even net. It's 10% of
on
gross.
property managers managing the
wow.
properties.
Yeah.
But if you're self-managing, I think
Then you get that back.
But if you're, when you get more units, I mean, it's all one building. I mean, so there's benefits of that as well.
Because then you learn how a property should be managed.
Okay.
So we both started the same way. Bought units, either lived in them or was self-managing them, and then you get to we have a 57 unit together.
Okay.
That has a PM, and so now we have a little bit of a better understanding of how we want him to communicate with our tenants, what kind of information we want to be providing. So now that we're not getting provided that, like he just said, he had last podcast had a talk with the guy, and we're gonna just now start getting like P&L, profit and losses on it.
Okay.
You just know what things to look for a little bit because you were doing it yourself.
For so long
initially.
Yep.
But to give you the rough numbers, we make like $580 a unit there, 600.
What's the rent?
Yeah, 600 a unit or 580.
We've been raising it 685.
685 per unit? No way. 57?
Yeah.
All of them.
Well, we probably have,
bro.
I'm telling you, he's
so
been working on it for
we got
over
4
a year.
vacancies right now, 57 units. We
Say
got 53
650. Say 650 on that.
All right, we got
average.
53 units times 650 is $34,450 a month. You times that by 12, our gross is going to be about $413 on that building.
Okay.
Now our cash flow is going to be 60, maybe 60, 70. Next year it should be better. But our cash flow for this year.
So pretty much your cash.
So
flow
take
60,000.
Take 50, just because we just got we've been
Okay, I guess with the elevator and everything. Okay,
always
50 divided by
go low.
415 is a 12%. So, and that's pretty decent. So I think
So what's cash flow
what's
cash flow per unit?
Per
so there's
door?
50, per door. So take 57 doors divided by $50,000. 57 doors divide. See what it is per door.
Divided by 73.
So that's $73 a door
Cash flow
when you're going bigger scale.
Okay.
Whereas the smaller units,
So your cash. So you guys cash flowing $60,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
Is that the number?
Yeah.
How many working hours are you putting into
him?
A week?
$60,000?
Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
A week?
Or just altogether that year.
10 minutes.
Bro,
10 minutes per.
I was the mastermind of that deal, though.
10 minutes
Not
per week.
Taking away from him or anybody else,
Yeah.
but I had come up with this idea that I wanted to find a way to give people in my team that helped me out or believed in me before I was scaling, equity. That's what I promised. I promised him that. I promised my partner Shannon. We own a construction company together. And I was like, I'm going to find one of these big deals where it's so large that when you give out small portions of equity, like the portion I gave 4 people 7.5%.
Okay.
7.5% of a $2.4 million building is $180K in equity and debt simultaneously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends on what side you're on.
So I gave away $720,000, $750,000 worth of equity in the deal with no cash from any of the other partners. So before this deal happened, we met, I don't know, at Perkins or IHOPs or something. And I told them this idea. I was like, I'm going to find it. We're going to be creative with financing. We'll bring other money to the table, blah, 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 blah. And this will be the team that mans that operation. And I pulled it off. And now Dustin has to deal with
pretty much
the ripples along the way.
So normal deal, plus with this property manager, which is my first experience with a property manager. So that's been a whole learning experience in itself. Especially when you're so used to self-managing everything. And so our kind of scenario with this 57 plex is probably a little bit unique. However, there's a lot of, people out situations like that have private investors or people that are just silent partners that they just want the P&L statements, their quarterly reports, their,
they want
financials. They don't want to
calls,
But it's nice, with our team, because everyone has their strengths within it.
Okay.
And I think that's the key when you're trying to partner with somebody. You don't want to have the same strengths. You want to have
I've heard it as like overlapping strengths, right? Like it's a circle that you're trying to do. But if you're just completely yin and yang, then there's no understanding the other person's viewpoints because you're so night and day. Like how is night ever supposed to understand day's point of view and vice versa? So when some of those skills intertwine, that's when it can be so beautiful. And we do have,
we have that going on.
But there's also he's kind
of like you and Nick, right?
Probably, yeah.
Nick has strengths, you have strengths, and now you kind of just taking those skill sets and
make a power couple.
Yeah, power pack. Yeah.
Power pack. Yeah.
But it is, I will tell you, the more partners you have, obviously, the more difficult it is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When you're, from the accounting and just, set up meetings, who's doing what, who's the point of contact, who's the only one talking to property manager. We don't want, 4 or 5 of us all talking to,
because that's not fair to the property manager either.
Yeah, it's not.
No, it's really not.
So there's advantages. And so I think when we, started our real estate, I know for sure for me, I always wanted to purchase properties that I can learn from and grow with so that I can, for me, with being in real estate, so I can go out and teach other people. Okay. So here I'm telling you, from my experience, from a duplex to a fourplex, this is my experience. Doesn't mean it's the only experience. Yeah. I guarantee there's people on here right now going, "Oh, dude, he's wrong. You should do this, and this." But from our experience and what we have, that's for me, a duplex is looking pretty attractive. You know,
versus a fourplex.
Yep. That's how because I feel like. Plus, I just had one of my units, a duplex too. These people, it's their home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's their. It's one step away from a single family home, and so a duplex. I got one of my tenants have been there 12 years.
Wow,
like that's her home.
Yeah,
and so I'm not the vacancy issues. Whereas I had someone not pay, had to go through eviction with the fourplex. Now evictions could happen with the duplex.
Yeah.
However, I think the people that are renting duplexes are
a bit more established.
I think they want to be there a little bit longer term than someone that's in a apartment, fourplex, fiveplex, in our experience. Yeah. However, it's not all experience. But.
From your point of view, like with two real estate investors here, especially with you kind of already being in the real estate game and owning your house, what is that hesitation or that thing that's like just holding you back, or you wish you knew or felt more comfortable? What's a question a normal person can ask our viewers that we could possibly answer, help
I think
eliminate that?
My personal like holdback has just been just jumping off the cliff and going for it. That's been my.
But what's causing not to jump?
Honestly, I don't know. It's like one of those things. I think it's one of those things when you ask somebody, you ask the entrepreneur, why haven't you left your job yet?
Yeah.
I think it's like a security thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, if I go put 20% down on this duplex. Or
3.5 if you live in it.
Yeah, 3.5.
You know what I'm saying? Let's get rid of that right off.
Yeah, we got to clarify.
But yeah, I think for most people, the 3.5 is very attractive. Just house hacking, like you said. But like,
you just gotta tell the wife, this is 12 months, babe. Like we're gonna grind it.
I know.
We're gonna get a better house than this single family house when we're done. All right.
And I think I think that's another thing is like if I was single, and wasn't married, like of course I'll just go house hack, live there for a year, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
But having a wife,
but I get it because I have one of those wife things.
I don't.
Neither does not.
I have one of
I have a wife, and I think you're definitely onto it. But here's the thoughts. If you're living your home that you have now, like Ethan's saying, if you go buy another house, let's say you go buy a duplex. Okay. There are some nice duplexes out there.
Yeah,
Some
definitely.
very nice duplexes.
100%.
Nice thing is you can keep your rate,
Mhm.
whatever you're locked in for your interest rate on your personal house now, turn that into rental, jump over here, start buy the duplex, live in half of it, still get the 3.5%.
Oh, yeah.
You have no
Okay.
house. You definitely have
So,
zero
I don't-
house payment
so-
at that point.
all
With
right,
your
you-
single family cash flowing,
Yeah.
and in the
So-
duplex, you have zero cost of
So
living.
you guys just answered my question because in my head I was just thinking like, hey, because I don't want to sell.
You don't want to give up that
Oh.
3.5%
No,
interest.
don't
or
sell.
whatever.
Don't sell the single
I got
family.
like a 3.25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my head,
Keep it.
In my head, I'm thinking I have to sell that in order to go get another 3.5.
No, bro.
Nope.
down.
Depending on the bank or the lender, and Jason's a great guy to talk to. If the property has been previously used as an income property, you can take 70% of the income it produces and deduct that from the debt to income ratio that you need to be approved for the house, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Typically, you have to
based
have
on the lender.
Yeah, based on lender, you have to have that lease in place. So
Okay.
you have to show the lender, hey, Mr. Lender, I have this lease in place.
Mm-hmm.
For this, let's say the duplex you're buying, and it's income producing. And so technically, I think if you do, I think the lender specific, but if you take that lease and show it to them and say, hey, lender, there's clearly this much money coming in on the other side, then you can use that as kind of part of your income to adjust
how
to
that
your
looks
debt.
is, so like say that your mortgage payment for that property would be like $1,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're saying, so your then income would have to be able to support that new $1,500. Well, what they're saying is they'll deduct 70%. So then you only have to get approved for the other 30. So your income would only have to support increasing by 450.
450.
Of your debt.
Well, yeah.
It's like a car payment.
Yeah.
That's a $450 car payment.
Okay,
Get
so-
rid of the stinking cars and buy a duplex.
So now with that information, that changes a lot of my reservations on being like, hey, I gotta cough up this 20%, and this might work, this might not work. But if I know I only gotta cough up 3.5%, and if it doesn't work, that's just 3.5%.
That's 3.5%
instead of 20%. So I think that answers a lot.
I mean, think about that.
question.
3%, $6,000 versus 40.
Right.
Easy to come up with 6,000 is
And
$40,000.
40,000. And
Right? For like a $200,000
And
duplex.
if anything ever goes left, I'd rather lose $6,000 than $40,000.
So
Right.
would you say what we just offered was pretty helpful?
Yes.
But here's another.
Could you tell our watchers and viewers to subscribe and like, please? 'Cause I forgot we've never done a call to action before.
They know their stuff.
But also, here's the thing: is when you take the wife and you say, "Hey, honey, we're doing this duplex thing," and that other person's paying, the other side's paying for basically, might be paying for majority of your mortgage.
Yeah.
Then you sit there and go, I know you like shoes. I know you like,
Traveling.
That
traveling.
trip to Greece you've been talking about,
right? You gotta have the hook
That
and be
trip to
like,
Hawaii even? Yeah.
and you kind of map that out and say like,
and then you show the numbers. I mean, I guess I don't know if she's a numbers person, but I've always realized like when I'm talking to somebody about this stuff, the story sounds all cool and it's really, you
numbers
can
is the help.
execute it. But if you can then show it on paper, like, look, this is what our mortgage is for this single family house. This I just got on rentometer.com. This is what this property will rent for when I leave. Here's our cash flow. Now we go over to the duplex. This will be the mortgage payment for that. This is what we can rent the single side out.
Yeah.
Now apply the cash flow from over here, babe. We're living for free.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go in a month?
Yeah.
We'll blow our whole check that we would have spent on mortgage on a vacation.
I like it. Yeah.
my
that's super
biggest
helpful.
disclaimer though is like, you got to make sure, and you know this, that she is 100%
on board.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing is, because things aren't, there's no guarantee,
Right.
but it's still, I feel a safe investment in the case you still can liquidate. You can still sell it.
Yeah, you can still sell it.
It's not like you're locked in.
And duplexes will move a lot quicker than, well, not quicker than single families, but they'll move quicker than any other real estate product.
That's good to know. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my single family in Boone right now, rehab that on the market, wasn't even on the market for 24 hours. I got a 5-plex that went on last week. I've got some offers and I'm negotiating, but it's not sold yet, and it's still only a 5-plex with a 220 purchase price. So it's not even like a crazy high purchase price.
I think once you have that success, and you did it by buying your first house, and you kind of get into it and kind of feel I got this.
Yeah.
But I would tell you that first purchase, that first investment, I still remember mine to this day, how important. So we've been there, how very important that very first, I analyze and we analyze and we analyze, and can we do this? And should we jump off the cliff? And no, no, yes. And so it wasn't something we just, I get where you're feeling like, golly, but I looking back, that having that first one have success, and you really feel like it's a game changer. It opens your eyes to what could really be, and how real estate could be a huge part of your future in terms of your retirement, or taking care of your future kids, and just really set up that legacy for yourself. Until you could watch videos, but until you live it and it's actually part of your plan, and you see the plan working, there's nothing better.
That's huge.
There's nothing better. And I think with anything else, I think a lot of people, want to get into it, but they just don't know those missing pieces. I think having a team, having, a lot of the times is having those people like contractors, doing your homework, finding out, having 3 or 4 different electricians, 3 or 4 plumbers, 3 or 4 handyman, some of these network around, which you're great at, having this team around you, because you're the media guy, you're the content creator. You're not fixing toilets. You're not doing that. And 100%. So don't do it, but make sure your team is in place, so you feel good about just, calling that person, have them take care of it. Yep. And I think if you really analyze like what it really takes to make something like this work, and you have it's all about people. You have the right people in place to help you, life changing. Yeah. And I will tell you, if you don't have the right people in place,
life changing,
just not in the positive way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, before we wrap it up real quick, I came up with a new question.
Let's hear it.
We got to ask what your goals are. We try to ask every guest we have on here what their goals are for this year and the following year, so that 2024. So by the time we have our next set of our guests back on, and we have you back on, we can keep you accountable.
Yeah,
to those guests. So they got to be specific. They got to be measurable.
Yeah.
Timestamp, and what's the other one? I don't know. It's like a SMART goal.
Okay.
Whatever. So let's hear what you got.
So one goal, personal goal, will be to have a property.
Okay.
Outside of my
rental property, income property, and then business related would be to continue just growing the business, add more clients. I guess to give, I'm trying to think what would be a good number to give you guys. Sure. So of like a new client base or new gross income. Or...
Yeah, I'll say. Maybe a new gross income of 250.
Hey, okay.
250.
You guys are 6 figures right now, though, right?
So yeah,
250
gross.
Yep. So
I thought it was 250 like new clients or something. $250,000.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that's an attainable goal.
Is that for both or just Vivid Vision?
I'll say just for Vivid Vision.
Dang.
Yeah, that'd be a goal for Vivid Vision.
But think about where he was a year ago.
Yeah.
Didn't he have
working for
So look what he's at.
Yeah, awesome. and I thank all my clients too, because they've been great at referrals. Because I've never really ran ads or anything. Yeah. A lot of our business has come from referrals.
That's amazing. Word of mouth.
Thanks, Dustin. word of mouth. So that'd be my goal, business wise, but definitely personally. Definitely get some properties.
All right, so here's the new question. What's something that most people care about that you don't?
Oh, that's a lot of things. Because I'm pretty laid back, and that's pretty deep. Something that most people care about that I don't.
You like that?
I think a lot of people... it's tough because I care about it, but it's not why I do it. So I feel like a lot of people care about the recognition for things. They want to be like
recognized for what
they want to be recognized for what they did. They want to be, if it's a team effort, some people want to be
that
guy, and that just never been me. That's something I really don't care about, like the accolades, the stats. Personally, business wise, I'm like, yeah, the business did that, but personally, I'm never the person that people are like, oh, like once Vivid Vision become $1 million business someday, I would never want people to be like, oh, Markee built the $1 million business. I want them to just say, hey, Vivid Vision is $1 million business. So
that's crazy. That is cool. I like that one.
Is that your logo on top of the hat?
Yeah, this is the logo.
Okay, that's a great transition to our next part, bro. How do people find you if they want to get in contact with you? Social media, emails. How do they get it? Yeah, we'll put it here.
Yeah, put it here. So for all your real estate needs, www.vividvm.com. Also, Vivid Vision on all social platforms. If you want your wedding or you have somebody getting married, we got elevateweddingfilms.com, Elevate Wedding Films on all social platforms. Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you guys for having me.
Really enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more. Thank you.